The wind howled across the vast, frozen tundra of Nunavut. Anjikuni Lake lay nestled within this desolate landscape, a shimmering sheet of ice under the pale winter sun of November 1930. Joe Labelle, a seasoned fur trapper, ventured into this wilderness. He expected to find the small Inuit village bustling, or at least showing signs of life. The people of Anjikuni were known for their resilience and close-knit community. As Labelle approached the area, an unsettling quiet began to permeate the usual sounds of his trek. The crunch of his snowshoes seemed unnaturally loud in the stillness. He scanned the horizon, expecting to see the familiar plumes of smoke rising from the villagers' dwellings, but the sky remained stubbornly clear, devoid of any such comforting sign. A knot of unease began to tighten in his stomach. Something felt wrong, deeply wrong. The silence was too complete, too absolute for a place usually teeming with the sounds of daily life. He pressed on, his pace quickening despite the heavy snow. The familiar landmarks were there, but the life that should have accompanied them was conspicuously, chillingly absent from view. As Joe Labelle reached the outskirts of the Anjikuni Village, the scene that greeted him was profoundly disturbing. The village was there, its igloos and tents standing starkly against the snow, but it was utterly deserted. Not a soul could be seen. The silence was a heavy blanket smothering the entire area. He called out, his voice swallowed by the vast emptiness. Only the wind answered. Inside the dwellings, a pot of stew, now frozen solid, still hung over a long-dead fire pit. Personal belongings were scattered about as if their owners had simply vanished mid-task. In one igloo he found a child's unfinished sealskin garment, a needle still threaded beside it. Stores of food and fish were neatly stacked, untouched. The scene painted a picture of sudden, inexplicable departure. Perhaps the most chilling discovery was the cache of rifles, essential tools for hunting and protection, left behind. Outside, the sled dogs, crucial for transportation, were found starved to death, still tethered to their posts. This discovery added another layer of horror and mystery. Labelle, a man hardened by the wilderness, felt a cold fear grip him, a fear that had nothing to do with the biting wind. Shaken by his discovery, Joe Labelle made his way to the nearest telegraph office. He reported the silent, empty village at Anjikuni Lake. The news reached the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. An investigation was launched, but the harsh winter delayed their arrival. They found the village as Labelle described. Abandoned food supplies and deceased dogs pointed to a sudden event. They searched for clues but found no answers. Labelle's account was meticulously noted. The officers were baffled by the lack of any reason for the abandonment. The Anjikuni village simply ceased to exist, its people vanishing into the cold air. With no clear explanation from the official investigation, speculation about the fate of the Anjikuni villagers ran wild. Natural threats were considered. Could a sudden, violent blizzard have caught them unawares, forcing a desperate flight? Perhaps a localized famine or disease struck with such speed that it forced an immediate evacuation. Yet, the abandoned supplies didn't fit these scenarios perfectly. Another theory delved into Inuit mythology and spiritual beliefs. Some suggested the villagers might have fallen victim to a malevolent spirit. Inuit folklore is replete with stories of powerful entities. Could the disturbance of the graves be linked to such an event? Then came the more sensational theories, extraterrestrial abduction. Proponents pointed to alleged strange lights seen in the sky. Could an alien spacecraft have whisked away its inhabitants? The completeness of the disappearance lent itself to such otherworldly explanations. Each theory came with its own set of problems and unanswered questions. The mystery deepened with each proposed solution. The village remained silent, its secrets locked away by the frozen landscape. The story of Anjikuni Lake is a staple of Canadian mystery lore. Over time, skepticism has grown about the original account. Researchers face difficulties verifying the details. A major challenge is the lack of official RCMP records. Primary sources raise further questions. Journalist Frank Edwards popularized the story in the 1950s. Critics suggest he may have embellished the tale. Details like emptied graves and starving dogs are hard to substantiate. Experts question the existence of a large village at Anjikuni Lake in 1930. Inuit communities were small and mobile. A large permanent village might not align with historical realities. Despite skepticism, the mystery of Anjikuni Village endures. It taps into primal fears of the unknown and the power of nature. The story's persistence speaks to our fascination with unsolved puzzles. Whether fact or folklore, Anjikuni's mystery haunts the Canadian imagination.